Welcome to Motherhood Unscripted, the podcast that shares the unspoken changes that affects a woman after she becomes a mother. This podcast not only sheds light on the complexities of raising children, but also gives solutions that make them feel empowered, gets to talk about the honest and raw truths in motherhood. It also advocates for mental well-being of moms and also builds a community that connects mothers together. Let's walk together as we unlearn what society has taught us and learn who we are meant to be as women and mothers. Let's take this journey together. Welcome. Hi everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Motherhood Unscripted. My name is Gladys, and this episode is really exciting that I want to share with you. But before that, I want to give a special shout out to a very good friend of mine who usually makes me feel so beautiful. She makes amazing jewelry. As you can see, the one that I'm wearing, her name is Joanne, and her handle on Instagram is Jojo Creates with a K, and she has been a long time of friend, and we have worked together on so many projects. So if you're interested in handmade jewelry, you can follow her on Instagram under Jojo_creates. She is an amazing jeweler and creative as well. So follow her, and she also bakes. She's just multi-talented. So thank you, Jojo, for always making me beautiful. If you have seen these videos and you have seen me with any sort of earrings, they are all from Jojo Creates. So make sure to follow her. So without wasting any time, let's jump right in to this episode. Welcome. On today's episode, why didn't anyone tell me about this? It's really a touching topic that I feel like it's important for us to share, because most of us, when we become mothers, we experience things that we ask yourself, why didn't anyone tell me? And I know that you can relate. So let's begin. Why didn't anyone tell me about this? Because honestly, how many times have you thought those words since becoming a mom? Motherhood changes you in ways that no one warns you about. It's not just physical, yeah? It's deeply emotional, mental, and even spiritual. And yet, for some reason, this shift remains largely unspoken. So today, we are breaking that silence, the cultural silence around matrescence. So let's start here. Why is something as big as matrescence not part of the conversation? We prepare for labor, we prepare for birth, but we don't prepare for what happens to the mom or to the woman in all this. So instead, society gives us a cute, baby clothes, breastfeeding tips. We get sleep schedules, but leaves us completely unprepared for the identity crisis, the anxiety. I know you can relate, yeah? I know even some of you are nodding, yeah? The loneliness, the anger. There's this dangerous idea that you should love every moment of motherhood. So when you don't, you are wondering, what's wrong with me? So the answer is, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. So let's talk about the hormonal and emotional shift. You cry when you watch a diaper commercial. You feel overwhelmed at the sound of constant crying. You're happy 1 minute, and the next, you're feeling so much rage. And I want to pause because I know so many of us can relate. Let's be real here. This isn't just the baby blues. This is your entire system resetting. But no one talks about this because moms are supposed to be strong, right? Yes, we are. We are told we're supposed to be strong. So let's talk about the emotional and hormonal shift. You're constantly overwhelmed by the crying of your baby. You feel happy 1 minute and rageful the next. This isn't just baby blues. This is your entire system that is resetting. But no one talks about this because mothers are supposed to be strong, right? And strength in many cultures means silence. The truth is, dear mama, feeling lost, moody, resentful doesn't make you a bad mother. It makes you real. So let's talk about the loneliness that no one talks about. Have you ever felt deeply lonely? Even when you're surrounded with your kids, your partner, or family? That's one of the most common experiences during matrescence. You lose social connections. You stop being invited out. You start living on baby schedules, and no one tells you that motherhood can feel like a full-time performance. You smile, you post baby pics, but inside, you might be falling apart, It's time to say, motherhood can be deeply isolating. Even though it looks like you are never alone. So here is what I want you to take away from this episode. You're not broken. You're not failing. You're not the only one that is experiencing this. What you are experiencing has a name, and it's called matrescence. And naming it can be healing. You are allowed to say that this is hard. I know most of us are not, they not feel like they're allowed to say that. You are allowed to ask for help, yeah? Because most of us really suffer and don't know how to ask for help. You are allowed to feel like you are unraveling. Once you get to understand that matrescence is a word, once you name it, one of my favorite quotes that I love says, words create worlds. So if you are able to name it that you are going through something and it is called matrescence, that is where change begins. Because so many people, and I always speak this because my own experience, once when I started, when I became a mother, and when I was really looking deeply into this work, I was asking myself constantly, I am going through something, but I did not know what it was at that time. I did not know exactly what was happening, but I knew that something is happening inside of me, around me, and I did not know what it was. And once I heard about that name, Matrescence, and I have heard so many other women say the same, and that is it. It's like it was an aha moment, a light bulb a light bulb switched, and that is how I began to search for this word, and I began to understand myself. I began to feel validated, to feel seen, because finally I knew that it was not just in my head. It was not just me that was experiencing this transition. I came to know that actually so many women who had previously understood this word changed for the better, and that is how my life began to change for the better, because I understood now this is what happens, the reason why it happened to me, why the system does not work well for mothers, why I felt overwhelmed, because there's lack of support, and there were backings to that. There were actual doctors who talked about this. But I want you to know that Matrescence, still, there are so many people who do not know about it. And if you're listening to me and you want to learn more, please feel free to reach out to me. You can also check on my Instagram for that. But I want you to understand that once you begin to know this word, like for me, my life changed for the better. And I began now to look at myself in a different lens. I began to see myself with a lot of compassion, rather than the point of where I was. Why can't I keep up with the rest of the moms? Why do I feel so much shame when I share that there are days that I'm not enjoying being a mother? Why do I judge myself in those times where I feel I am overwhelmed and I did not know how to ask for help? I felt like I should be able to do it all. I felt like I should be able to cope. So I want you to feel seen, dear mama. I want you to say, be valued. And I want you to understand that you are not alone. So to every mom who is listening, I want you to know that you're not invisible. Your transformation deserves to be acknowledged and not hidden behind filters and fake smiles. And if this episode has resonated with you, please feel free to share it with a mom, a friend, a sister, a cousin, whoever that is a mama who will resonate with this video. And remember to follow Motherhood Unscripted on Instagram. I have so much content there. And let's keep this conversation going loudly and unapologetically. So until next time, always remember that you are doing better than you think. So see you next time. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.